In today's video, we're going to do some thread repair on this small block Chevy. This is a 350 block out of a numbers matching Corvette, so it's in to be bored. Customer does not want us to deck the block because they don't want the numbers to be gone. But what this video is going to focus on is this motor mount hole here. Whenever we're cleaning a block, we always try to make it pretty obvious when there's something wrong so that we don't miss it later on in the process, because sometimes it might be a little while before we get back to working on it. But you can see here, this one thread here is stripped out. So just to show you here, it is a 3970010 block. There is the stamp for when it was cast, so it looks like it was done on third shift. There is the casting date, L169, so L indicates December 16th, and 69 would be the year there. Come up here, these are the numbers that they don't want surfaced off the block. It's kind of what makes this valuable with the car. So we've got V1217 CTG. So the numbers were put there. V is Flint, Michigan, I believe. 12 December, 17 would be the 17th day of December, and CTG does indicate that it is out of a Corvette. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna do a helicoil in this, and I'm gonna show you guys why we kept our old TCM25 valve seat machine when we upgraded to the Surdy, because it's really a good machine for stuff like this. In order to get it level so that I can machine the threads on the other side, I'm going to take these dowel pins out so I can fixture it on this deck face. So to try and get that to grip a little bit better, I'm just going to put a little dab of valve grinding compound on here. It's funny because I don't use this to lap valves. I mean, once in a very, very, very rare time, but I do have to buy this for pulling dowel pins because it works to help make everything grip a little better. There we go.
The TCM normally has a cylinder head rollover fixture on the table for doing head work, but it's easily removed to make fixturing a block like this super simple.
I leveled the table, so everything should be level here. I can't really check very easily here, but that looks pretty good. Going this way, pretty good. That way's pretty good. There I'm reading 3 on the DRO, 3 thousandths. There I'm at 0. There I'm at 3 again. So we're pretty good that way. Definitely better than we would be with a hand drill. So
when you work on engines that are over 50 years old on a daily basis, you're going to run into some stripped threads. So we keep just about every size helicoil kit on the shelf. The TCM25 has a gearbox with a range of fixed spindle speed options, and then we have it set up on a variable frequency drive, which allows us to have some additional variability of the speed within those ranges. To get centered up on the bolt hole, it's as simple as giving the foot pedal some taps, which lets the airfloat table float the block a bit as we're bringing the drill bit down into the hole, which moves the block to allow the drill bit to find its center. With doing a helicoil, we're just drilling the hole deep enough that we can run our tap in to get the full helicoil thread depth. And these holes are plenty deep, so we simply drill until we feel the bottom of the original hole. Before tapping the threads, it's good to get any of the chips out of the bottom of the hole, and the vacuum was a good thought, but I didn't hold it close enough so the chips still went everywhere. At this point, we're shifting into a lower gear speed, but we aren't moving the airfloat table at all so that we can keep the machine centered on the newly drilled hole. This allows us to use the machine to power tap, which I much prefer over tapping threads by hand. I feel like I'm less likely to break a tap this way, and it's just a lot easier. I like to tap with a little bit of tap magic, and I also don't tighten the chuck down as tight as I possibly can. While allowing the tooling to slip in the chuck really isn't great for the chuck, it's a worthy sacrifice in my opinion if it prevents breaking a tap off in a numbers matching Corvette block, because drill chucks are quite a bit cheaper and more readily available than a numbers matching Corvette block. I do still like to run the tap down again by hand just to give it a feel, as well as blowing the chips out one last time and running the tap down one last time. Since it is a blind hole, sometimes this helps get the threads as far down as you can. Finally, we're ready to install our helicoil, and sometimes I have people ask what the trick is to getting them started. Honestly, sometimes I struggle with them, but here the trick is to kind of compress the spring, if you will, by holding some friction at the top while turning the tool, and this sort of decreases the diameter of the helicoil and helps it start in. Once it's started, it's just as simple as threading it into place, and it's best to make sure that the top end of the helicoil is completely seated beneath one full thread. I know the people of the internet hate helicoils, but they're really a great product when you use them properly. I'm not even scared of using the newly helicoiled hole to thread my lifting eye into the block and move it back across to the workbench so I can keep moving on the machine work on this job. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the links in the description, and we'll see you in the next one.